Hello traders, and welcome to NOFT's Weekly Market Compass, where we help you navigate the week ahead. Our Weekly Market Compass is brought to you by our head trader Troy, who in between assisting traders in taking the next step in their careers, provides weekly and daily guidance in our live trading room every single day. Before we get into this week's guidance, we need to remind you that trading does carry significant risk, and all information in this video is just provided for educational purposes only and is not an offer or recommendation to trade future stocks, options, or Forex. From everyone here at NOFT, good hunting out there and happy trading. Here's Troy.
All right, welcome everyone. Just recording the morning meeting here. So let's go ahead and jump into the calendar for the week. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Going into today, pretty light calendar. We're going to have the Bank of Canada Business Outlook Survey at 10:30 New York time for the Canadian dollar. Something to watch out for there. Obviously, we had a pretty big sell-off on Friday. As far as it hasn't really been too much tariff talks over the weekend, but we are starting the week off with some tariff talks as far in the form of tweets. We'll see how that escalates. We had the attacks over in Syria, so I'm going to watch. Going to be important to watch the response on that, and how they that interaction goes between the states, Russia, Syria, all that entire situation there. See if there's any. It turns out to be more of a risk-off situation. So it should be interesting to see how that plays out. So certainly watch the newswire this week in regards to that and the chemical attack over there in Syria. But really, if any trade talk, any NAFTA talk comes through the wires, you can certainly see it affects in most markets here, especially the Canadian dollar. Going forward here, we are going to have a business confidence number here in the Australian dollar. Again, kind of interested to see what goes on in the Aussie to give me a good idea what's going on there in China, as they have a pretty close relationship over there. So again, don't really trust everything that comes out of China, but through the Aussie government certainly can get little breadcrumbs to see what's going on over there in China. So we'll certainly watch out for that. Going forward, I'm just going to look at some of the important numbers and some of the focuses for the week here. And tomorrow we're going to have a PPI here. I'm going to give us a nice idea about inflation here and the prices paid. So we'll see if this one ticks up here a little bit. Let's see. China is going to have some CPI and PPI numbers here. Expecting a slight downtick in both. Again, watch those numbers, but don't really put a whole lot of as much weight into these numbers. Just don't trust China. I remember the days when they were talking about taking snapshots of their ports just to see what was actually going on over there in China, since the numbers could never be trusted. So still sticks with me, I guess. Reserve Bank of Australia Governor Lowe due to speak on Wednesday morning here. Early in the, or I guess late in the Asian session, pre-markets for the London session here. Again, pretty interesting to see what the Reserve Bank is going to say about government. About the economic policies and what they are, how they are, going to be planning the next few months in regards to, again, the tariff talk, trade talk. Again, looking to see if there's anything that can drip out of that conversation. Manufacturing production, the British pound. Should see this tick up just a little bit here, but that's been kind of under pressure here for a little bit, so not expecting too much of a surprise there. Draghi's due to speak here on Wednesday. Again, late about mid to late London here, going into the American session. So certainly going to see what he has to say. They're talking about they were talking about having a date set to start peeling back on their QE, but now it seems a little bit of a mixed bag, so it'd be kind of interesting to see what he has to say to give us any more clarity, or as he's famously known for, is giving us some more confusion. Going into the American session, CPI and core CPI data, some more inflationary numbers due out, with crude oil inventories due out on Wednesday at 10:30. Fed minutes going to be on Wednesday afternoon. Again, going to be pretty interesting to see what they have to say about further rate hikes and see if there's any change in the rhetoric coming out of the Fed, especially with the new president, or the new Fed chair, I should say. still trying to get a feel for how he's going to handle things going forward. I think we're getting more and more of a feel of that, but I'm going to be interested to again read those meeting minutes to try and see if we can get more of a feel for this Fed chair and how he's going to react to certain things and what his outlook is. Bank of Japan, excuse me, Governor Kuroda due to speak on Wednesday early in the Asian session here. Again, going to be kind of interesting to see what he has to say. I saw some trade talk in regards to Japan now. Yeah, I'm going to be interesting to see what he has to say, especially about the current rates of the Japanese yen. Has actually seen some relief. Has put in a nice bottom there, and again, going to be interesting to see what he has to say about any trade, especially in the Asian region there. Going forward in Thursday, monetary policy minutes for the ECB. Bank of England Governor Carney due to speak. He's always kind of an interesting listen from time to time. Sometimes he comes out and he just says whatever comes to his mind. Sometimes there's no filter there, but most times he's pretty restrained. But always like listening to him to see what he has to say there for the day. And anyways, going forward, we are going to have the consumer sentiment there on Friday. So again, this week, fairly light on the news, just more inflationary numbers here for the States. And again, just listening for any type of trade talk. But for the most part, fairly light week unless we get some surprise in the numbers. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some charts here. Let's switch over. All right, so jumping into the charts here, looking at the ES for the day. Again, pretty negative close on the week. Would like to see us, ideally, if we can get a 26.53, I would like to see a possible short there. You'll look for a long around 25.97 double bottom here. Ideally, if we get any momentum to the downside, I think 26.58 is pretty good structure against to go ahead and go long against. But we'll be watching 26.53. Kind of the nature of the markets when it gets a little choppy through all these indexes, that you're going to have more and more levels here, which can be a little bit frustrating. So just trying to stick to the cleanest levels that I could find to really trade against. You can see we're bouncing up against 26.23. So if we can get up in here again, get a possible double top, certainly take a look at that, and a few levels around it. 25.97, 26, 25.68, and 26.53. Watch these levels today for a possible short up here, and maybe a bounce, support bounce right around 25.68. So I think today's going to be more rhetoric driven than anything else. NQ. Ideally, if we can get a move into 66.16 for a short, 63.34 for a long. But yeah, certainly watching 65.25 here, see if we can get a double bottom. We'll watch a structure again around 64.54 here again for either target double bottom, some pretty good structure here in the NQ. So watching those two levels, just trying to be flexible and nimble in this market, and sometimes you got to be quick. Sometimes you got to be patient, especially that's kind of how it is in a choppy market. So I'm just trying to find these cleaner levels here and just waiting for price to get in there, wait for a signal to go ahead and get short and get long. But again, key in a choppy market, staying flexible, staying nimble. Trading small. YM. Ideally, if we can get a move in at 24.432, I would like to get a shorting opportunity there. Long opportunity around 23.774 here. Going to watch 24.73 as you see price is kind of wrapping itself around here a little bit. If we can move off of this and maybe get a lower high at 24.73, I would certainly look to take a short there and target 23.774 here. Going into crude oil here. Still leaning a little bit more towards the bearish side here, but getting a pretty good support bounce. Watching 63.08 here for a short. If we can move higher, 64.05. So I'm watching those two levels on the day. 62.08 again for support here. You can see we made a higher low off of that. If we come back down here, we can continue to watch this level of further support here in the market. Obviously, though, if we do have any momentum to the downside, got to keep an eye on the 61 handle here for support. But yeah, we can get a 63.08 somewhere in this area here. We'll look to certainly see if we can get a signal to go ahead and go short here in crude oil. Gold, you can see a pop on the, let's see here. That's weird. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's updating. Yeah, I'm connected. I'll take a look into that. Gold here, watching the 1340. 190, 1342 area here for a possible short, looking for a long around 1327, 30. Again, just range trading here, and with no real news headline number on the day. just watching these inside levels here for a short and a long. Again, any rhetoric, any type of trade fears or escalation in the Syria talks could certainly see us testing the outside levels of 1351.90 or 1352 and 1316 here in gold. ZB. Pretty good move on Friday here. Nice pullback to 145.21. I'm going to continue to watch this level for support here in the market, almost like a little bit of a bull flag here. Watching 146.06 here as a double top target. Ideally, I'd like to get a short around 146.22, and we'll watch 145.21 as for a point to go ahead and get long. If we move further to the downside, however, though, watching 144.15 here for a possible support bounce. ZN, same idea here, getting a bit of a bull flag, watching 120.26 here for a possible long, 121.09 here for a short. Watch these two levels here for the day for a trade. If we get any momentum, if we can make a lower high, you get momentum to the downside. I'm going to watch 120.11 here for support bounce, but and ideally, initially, I'm going to be watching these two levels, inside levels here, 121.09 and 120.26. We'll go into more currencies here in a second. Just looking at the 6E right now, pretty bullish move here. I would love for it to come back to 23.52 to see if we can get an opportunity for a continuation trade to the long side. Watching 23.95 here for resistance. But if you get any momentum to the upside, watch 24.47. It's pretty good, pretty strong start to the American session here. But again, if we can get a pullback to 23.52, we'll certainly love to go ahead and take a long there. 6J. Watching for double top here at 93. Well, actually, probably not the 94 handle, but right around 93.97 here. Watching this for a double top and for a possible short, but you can see it's leaning a little bit. You made a higher low here, kind of broke some highs through here as well. So if we can trade above it, I'll also look at this level 93.97 here for a possible long point. So going to be kind of interesting to see how this shakes out. But yeah, we get any momentum to the upside. Probably certainly look to take a double top. If that breaks, we'll look for see if we can flip that for a long at 93.97 and would target 94.45 there at that point. Ideally, if we can move into 94.45, would certainly like this area for a possible short here in the market, and 93.53 ideally for a long. But this 93.97 level can be kind of interesting going forward. All right, so looking at the 6B here, I had to add some levels here. They just disappeared on me. Put this level right about there. Nice little low volume area through there as well. 6B leaning towards the long side here. Pretty bullish move off of Friday, and it was actually a really nice setup for a continuation trade right through here. Kind of built up a little bit of a pennant and just busted out to the long side here. Ideally, if we can get back down to around 141.75 or so, that'd be a nice bull flag and a nice little low volume area here. You see we're going right into this high volume. Hopefully we can find some resistance through there and watch 141.75 here for a possible long. I'm going to watch for a short right around 142, right around 142.30 or so here for a possible short here in 6B, but certainly leaning towards the long side there. Going into 6A, again, lost my levels through here. You can see how we are building up a bit of volume through here, and just chopping from side to side. Kind of interesting, leaning a little bit more towards the short side, given the whole the trend in context here, but obviously lost quite a bit of momentum down here. Going to watch for a double bottom right around 76. Was that 76.45 or so here? I'm going to watch for a double bottom through there, and see if we can get a trade. Got pretty close here a minute ago, but yeah, I'm going to watch that level there. And let's see, right through here. If we do squeeze higher, I'm going to watch 77.45 here for a possible short. All right, and didn't lose all my levels here. Looking at 6C. There you go. Yeah, 6C, still leaning a little bit more towards the long side. Anytime you saw last week when there was some type of talk about NAFTA or closing the deal or getting closer to an agreement on NAFTA, you saw the Canadian dollar start to firm up here a little bit. So watch for that this week. Going to watch again 78.25, 78.30 here for support here in the market. You can see the long probably already went off here. So we'll watch for a possible short though, right around 78.75. Do have a little high volume spike right above that, so if you do get in this level, wouldn't be surprised if we spike just above it and maybe look for a shorting opportunity to trade it the other way. But leaning towards the long side here, and if we can come back down and find some further support around 78.30, I'll certainly keep an eye out for that. All right. As we go through the charts for the rest of the day, I'm sure we'll find some intraday levels to take advantage of. But that's going to be it for now for our morning briefing. It's about 9:15 or close there too. So we'll go ahead and reconvene here right before the market open here at 9:30.